A very good morning to you as well and to the viewers. Well, this morning Doberman actually filed another submission, and that's to have the Port Elizabeth High Court not rule over some of the counts on the indictment and on the charge sheet. Defense lawyer Peter Doberman is saying that some of the alleged offences did not occur in Port Elizabeth. It occurred in various other area codes in the country, and thus should actually preside over the matter, that the matter does not fall into the jurisdiction of the Port Elizabeth High Court. And just mentioning a couple of places: KwaZulu-Natal, Umhlanga Rocks, where one of the offences occurred; Bloemfontein, another place where some of the alleged offences took place; another place was the Western Cape, and also in Mpumalanga, Kunda, and overseas. So from the 97 charges, you would know that Timothy Omotoso, 97 charges all in total with the co-accused Lusanda Sulani and Zukiswa Sito. 63 are main charges and 34 are alternative charges. So from that 97 charges, only 7 counts actually can be heard in the Port Elizabeth High Court, and that's what the defense lawyer wants to do now, that Judge Irma Skuman to actually rule on the matter, that she only hears some of the counts on that indictment. Now, State Prosecutor Neba Ntelwa refused that. He said he would oppose that, and that the acting former National Prosecutor Sean Abrams, he actually signed off authorization, citing that all those charges can be centralized in Port Elizabeth. But before we adjourned for tea, we heard that there was a second indictment that never had enough information on it, and that indictment was the first one that was issued to the court, and there are problems that are arising with that. Now we hear that the State Prosecutor Neba Ntelwa wants to reopen the case, only in terms of the jurisdiction of the charges, citing that the indictment that was signed off and the authorization they got from the former NPA head Sean Abrams was only in relation to that particular indictment, but there subsequently is a new indictment that has more information on it. And so it's a lot of technical, a lot of theory when it comes to all the applications that have been issued to court. But fundamentally, we have the defense wanting some of the cases or some of the charges to be heard in other courts across the country, such as KwaZulu-Natal, saying that this particular court, the Port Elizabeth High Court, has not got jurisdiction on the matter.
So yet another day of dealing with the technicalities of the case and not with the actual content of the case. Are you experiencing supporter fatigue? And I'm going to ask you a question I asked you previously, that we're seeing more of the supporters than of the opponents. How is that playing out outside the court, Jade?
Well, throughout the week, it has been back and forth. I'm actually going to out of shot now so that Tobani can show you what's happening outside the court. The Jesus Dominion International Church members have once again come out in the numbers. When I crossed on a very quiet outside court, but they come out in their numbers, and some of them are hoisting placards. As you can see, some of them are also dancing and praising, really just reaffirming their stance that Omotoso is innocent. We also saw several people with shirts on, just distributing and showing how they have been of Omotoso. There was one lady in particular who had a shirt on who said that she suffered with epilepsy, and after she went to the Jesus Dominion International Church and met Timothy Omotoso, he actually healed her and he was her savior. So some of the prophecies coming out of this group just behind me, and their stories as to why they believe in Timothy Omotoso and why they believe that he did not commit these crimes. I don't know if Kobani can pan. We do have the ANC Women's League just on our far left-hand side, on the opposite side of the road, a fairly small group of ANC Women's League members, and they are in solidarity and standing and affirming their support for the witnesses in the matter, hoisting placards of that first witness, Cheryl Zondi, as well, and just supporting them. But we will bring you all the information when we get back into court. It is expected that State Prosecutor Neba Intel will continue his arguments as to why all the charges on the indictment should be centralized and why this court in particular, the Port Elizabeth High Court, should hear all the charges.
Jayed-Leigh, as this back and forth continues, do we know what is happening with the witnesses? Where are they housed? Are they immediately available should court proceedings begin?
Well, the state has been very tight-lipped with regards to where the witnesses will be held, and I think it stems back from that debacle with Judge Mandela Makahula and, the scandal in which we had found out that his wife was actually housing some of the witnesses at her guest house. So they've been keeping their cards close to their chest. They haven't actually shared information with regards to the witnesses in terms of whether those witnesses will take to the stand. There has been rumblings that the first witness hails from Mpumalanga, and we are yet to hear when exactly she will take to the stands. But there's also information that I've received this morning that there possibly is another bail application on the cards from the defense team, but I don't know how that's going to play out, seeing that the Home Affairs Department has issued Timothy Omotoso with a document citing that he's a prohibited individual in the country. So should he be granted bail, hypothetically speaking, that would mean that he would be arrested and deported to Nigeria.
Jayed-Leigh Paulse, thank you so much for keeping us updated. We know you've got to run back into court now, but thank you so much for that update.